Thank you very much for watching the Dance Party 247 Club. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, welcome to the Dance Party 247 podcast. You've got myself, DJ V, DJ Wongy, DJ T. And again, this week we've got special guest, Carlos Lopez.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, Carlos?
I'm doing good, bro. Enjoying the hot weather here.
Good.
Look at that.
Very,
very hot. Mm-hmm.
You make me jealous.
Every time,
Hey.
every time.
I know when
Carlos,
you'll be here.
what did you have on your mind this week?
Well, basically, I would like to keep on the same track that what we did last week, you know.
Okay.
And let's talk about the skills, you know, stuff like that, you know, which I think it's a good way to help the new guys, you know, that are coming up. All right. And I think that if everyone we can share what we do for practice, whatever. I mean, as for me, what is it what you do to be better, you know? Okay. Besides like listening to your mixes, you know, like that's basically what I do. Every time I record something, I just listen to it and see where I need to like me be better, you know. That basically stuff like that, you know. I think that's good things to do to help others, you know.
Yeah, I do that every time I do a set. I always listen back to listen back because I know you know in your mind that you haven't done it 100%. So you always want to go back and listen to where you did. Yeah, it's not 100% and see where you can make improvements. Yeah.
Well, the problem is Wongy never improves though.
Man.
He listens back and then back and then back and back. All of a sudden, he's top of the chart because he's listened back several times.
What is one way to put your ratings?
He listens to his mixes more than he actually mixes. Didn't you, Wongy?
Oh God.
So what else do you do, Wongy, other than listen back to improve your mixing skills?
Well, once I've listened back to it, I will sometimes search them tracks again and replay them, like just in practice. I replay them and then try and recreate the same mix but improve it. That's what I do. Also, sometimes I listen back to some things, recreate it, and then add sound effects over the top of it to see if it sounds better.
Is that to disguise the dodgy mix?
Right. So yeah, Wongy, what do you do apart from listening back? What else do you do?
Well, I play. I learn more. I search tracks.
Okay,
I download them.
So break it down. Break it down.
I just did. Don't pick on me tonight.
So Wongy was saying that he, listens to his mixes and stuff like that. I listen to my visual mix, my audio mix, and when I'm putting my sets together and everything, I'll listen to the beginning, the middle, and the end of the tune before it goes into the folder. To obviously to get a better understanding of each track. So when you're mixing in and out, I mean, Wongy, do you not do that?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes, but most of the time, no. Do you know what? I'll flick through it quickly. Yeah, like I just like bounce through it, have a little listen to bits like partial way through. If I like it, it's going to be a bit played.
Nice paper.
No, but I know what I want up here. See, I know what sound I want. Yeah, and I know how I sort of relatively know how I want it to go. So if you flick through something, you can get a quick general gist of it. It might catch you out sometimes, yeah, and it does catch me out the odd once here and there. Fair play, yeah. But that's where Envy does, yeah. If he does the start, the middle, the end, the likelihood is he's not going to get caught out because he's listened to the majority of it. I flip through most of them, and I compile what I want together, what I hear in my ears, I put in my head. And then when I'll go to play it, it's pretty sound.
Okay.
What about you, T?
I will do a visual, I will fall asleep many occasions, listen to my own mixes late at night. Wake up and I hear some sloppy mixing. I won't tell you which DJ it's gone on to after that. We'll leave it there. But I actually do stuff that's completely offline. I will just take 2 tracks and I will just practice just something I've never done before, whether it's basically looping something or dropping or whatever, just a new skill set. Look up on YouTube, find something. Oh, that looks cool. I'll try that. I will do all those kind of things. Yes, you do those. Yes, you do your due diligence in terms of your tracks. To be fair though, I don't listen to the tracks fully, completely. 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing them on radio or obviously dance party, I've probably burnt them the morning off my set and I just mix them. But I've gone through them. I've gone through the whole process of selecting them and then obviously burning them because I'm on CD at the moment and then listen to them. So I've listened to them several times throughout, but I haven't mixed them. But obviously the experience of knowing that they'll mix, that's already there. But in terms of getting new skills, I will not be on air. I won't do anything on air. I will just find something I've never done before, try and replicate somebody else has done and maybe try a different way, or loop something out and fade it and drop a mix in or whatever. Yeah, I've only got 2 decks at the moment. Hopefully sometime soon, if somebody sells a car, I'll get 2 more decks, so I'll be able to add in 3-4 deck mixes, samples, acapellas, stuff like that, which I did do a little bit of when I had a virtual DJ. But I like to, yes, have a look at what you've just done and listen to what you've done, but certainly I'm always about what's the next best thing, to quote what Wongi says. It's like, what skills can I add to what I'm doing now? What about you, Carlos?
One thing I will say is, see, when I play on vinyl and they used to go and buy vinyl, I would listen to it from front to back, from start to finish, front to back, religiously, just get to know it. But since I've gone on to digital, it's a lot easier to flick through your tracks. You have the time to just flick it through. Whereas if you're with vinyl, you don't. Yeah. So this is why I say I can flick through it and I have a general thing in my mind what I want.
Well, what I would say is that if I'm playing out, properly out, I will be a lot more thorough. Yeah. Absolutely a lot more thorough. I still might not have actually planned the set, because in a real life situation on radio, I just say, right, this is the set, this is what I'm doing, and that's what you get pretty much. When I'm in a live situation, I have a little bit more flexibility because I don't know how the crowd are going to react.
Which crowd are you going to have that night?
So I have a little bit more flexibility in that respect. What about you, Carlos?
Oh, I do a couple of things. I do different things. First of all, I listen to classical music most of the time.
Okay.
Right. I hardly listen to house music, whatever, When I listen to club music, house music, when I'm gonna play. Besides that, I just listen to classical music. The reason why, because I need to educate my ear. Okay. On sounds, basically. All right. Another thing that I do, I record 10 sets, about 32 to 1 minute, and I mix rock. Okay, you say it's crazy, but that way you get the skills about using the pitch, right? And the mix match, okay? Basically the beat match, basically that's what I do, with that, Also, another thing that I do that it helps me a lot, like I told you before, like once a week I play disco music.
Yeah,
okay?
with different beats.
Which irregular beats, that makes you like look for the pitch, for the BPM, and try to match it. And something that I learned, if you can get a loop or of a kick, all right, and basically 2 different sounds, and try to mix them, blend them together, okay, as long as you can, all right, because basically when we mix, what we're using it is the kick, all right, because that's the key, all right, the kick.
So what you're saying, Carlos, in essence, you're going back to almost kind of the fundamentals that DJ would learn at the very, very beginning, and still going back and practicing.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. Basically, the thing is that you know what? I'm gonna do a set this week. It's gonna be like bounce music. It's called hardstyle. I never played that before. it's like 150 something BPM, right? Which I know that basically in London, or that's the type of music. Basically, most of the music that they play over the DJs, right? And most of the stations that I listen to it, basically that's what they play, all right? Which I'm not related to it, so I'm gonna play it, all right? And usually, what I do is sometimes once also be after or maybe once a week I do it too. I'll play some music that I never played before. It's like when you go to the gym. I'm a trainer, and I tell people which other body part you hate the most. Oh, I don't like to do legs. It's for example. So that's what we're gonna do on Mondays. All right. Why? Because you come in fresh, rest from the weekend. All right. And basically, what you're gonna do is if you're gonna do legs on Friday, you're gonna be tired because you worked. I mean, there's a lot of things that basically you're gonna skip the day. It happens with music. I think that's the way it is. With music also. I don't like trance. Let's take an example. Well, I'm not gonna play it, right? But the thing is that I have to play it, right? So I need to learn, understand, how to mix it. Because basically, let me tell you something. I think one of the hardest type of music to mix is the trance music, for real. As for me, the thing is that it's very melody music, has a lot of melodies, stuff like that. And also it's so fast, and it's even though you're using the sync, all right, it gets up a little bit. So as for me, it's more difficult to play to mix those type of music. So right now what I'm doing is I'm practicing with that music.
How many hours do you practice a week?
It's hard because I play it a lot.
I know you play a lot, so I'm thinking, how much time do you practice in between the playing a lot?
Like on Mondays, like today and Tuesdays, basically off. I'll take like an hour and I play. It's I choose a random music, and I play. Like basically today, I'm gonna do that bounce music, which I found tracks like that almost like 160 BPM. It's just crazy. It's cool. But it's so hard to mix it. It's hard. I'm telling you, it's hard. It's very hard to mix it. It goes so fast. It's hard to keep it. Without using the sync. All right. It's hard to keep it together. That's the thing. So I think I found a new way to practice. I really like it. So that's what I do. I think you have to educate your ear. Okay. That way you don't get used to do the same thing. Okay, so you gotta think outside the pocket now.
I'll give you a couple of things that I've done actually on air, and it's things I would do anyway, but I would just to make sure I'm still okay with the technique. So I use a crossfader 80% of the time. I will chop, but I'll use a crossfader depending on the type of music I'm playing. Envy is always on the faders. He'll blend on the faders, never use the crossfader. And we've obviously got some gigs coming up that obviously I'll be playing back to back with him. So I'm thinking, Mohammed in mountain kind of situation, I better start learning what he does. So I've started to do more faders and blend on the faders 2 weeks ago. And then he said, you know what? I did a bit of crossfader tonight. He did the absolute opposite to me. We need to be doing that. Another thing I've started doing, two more things, is that I had the house to myself a couple of times this last week, and because I'm in a really small room, and obviously sometimes I play it late at night, it's all just through my earphones. I don't get the beat of the music all going through your body, so I turned it up, and then the concentration level just to go woof. You know what I mean? Because I can't hear so much between the music hitting my body and then my ears and everything like that. So I've done that a few times to replicate going back into the real world, and also as well, I've started to get the pitch to what do you call it? Just to ride the pitch. That's it. Like you do, Carlos, ride the pitch. So I'll spin it once to get it in. Yeah, because it might be 124 and I got 128. I'll move it up because I know roughly how much I need to spin it on these decks, and then I try and catch it on the and I will
on the pitch.
And some of that is because I'm not doing anything else. It might be sort of to keep me interested, or I don't need to do it, or can I do it? It's a little challenge. Can I do it? Spin it, catch it, go down a little bit slower, a little quicker. I know what it needs to end up being, because obviously I've got a digital readout. be difficult, more difficult on vinyl, obviously, but I still know I can hear it. So I probably could, having done that, do that a little bit better again if it was vinyl and I had no digital aids to help us. So that's what I've kind of done a little bit off the last few weeks.
I think what you're doing is it's right, because basically, what happens if you go to play, to a club or whatever, and the controller they're using, the sync, it's messed up. So what you're gonna do about it? You're gonna have to use the pitch. No, so you got to be ready for everything. You know, another thing that I do, and I learned this from a guy that I was playing in New York. This guy, I was in the booth, DJ booth, and with this guy, Gino Vasquez, and this guy, this small monitor, and I can hardly hear the music. And I was like, why? I mean, what are you doing? Why you have so low? I mean, because usually DJs, most of them are deaf. All right, so you hear the monitors, that. Yeah, there you go. So and he told me that basically when he was at his house, recording sets or whatever, he used to like play music, very low. Okay, that way you force your ear, okay, to recognize, sounds. All right, and I was thinking about it. It makes a lot of sense. All right, so you first you're pushing your ear. Okay, just look for the kick, and among all the sounds that they're going through the speaker at that moment, you first in the ear just to look for the kick. All right. So basically, that's you educate your ear, with the sounds, and that's what I do. I mean, if you see me playing my monitors, I got a very small one, so 5-inch, and I can play here whenever I want, because basically I don't bother anybody, because basically I don't mix loud. The volume of the music is not loud.
My music's only on loud enough that if I walk away, if I need a toilet break or get a drink of water or something like that, I can just tell when a track had finished. Literally, it's just lower than you'd have pretty much in the background, because kind of late at night sometimes. But the DJ Tutu we've had on a podcast, and he also recommends doing it at low volume, but for another good reason as well, for tinnitus, because if you have it really, really loud and you're practicing hour upon hour upon hour, and I had that after not being used to some loud music for a while, and I was speaking to Envy afterwards, and I said I could still hear the ringing like I'd been out all night in my ears, which obviously is not a good sign, is it? So yeah, this is where we should have product placement, isn't it, for some in-ear buds, protection buds.
Mm-hmm. I do actually have some. I can do a product placement now, if you bear with me.
He's got some somewhere.
And you know what? Basically, that's another thing that we need to think about.
I have a set of these. These are the Alpine hearing protection. Now, these are great. They come with 3 levels of control of protection.
That's awesome.
All they are is just where's my camera?
I can't find mine. I assumed I had enough that.
And they literally tin ears like that, and they take out. They reduce all the kicks, all the high notes, because it's the high notes that do the damage to your ears, not the bass.
Exactly.
You can listen to bass as much as you want, and it will not. It doesn't do much damage at all. It's all the high notes. So I would recommend. These are about $14.99 from Amazon. So yeah, we can do another podcast on them a bit later on if you like, guys, and about ear protection. We'll all have to do some research, because there is so much out there. Because when I was looking for these are just the run-of-the-mill. They're cheap, basically, but they do the job. But to get all the proper ones that are all molded to your ear, they cost money.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably be invested in some. I don't know about anyone else. Once we get back out in the real world, Ronnie.
Yeah, once I get back out in the real world, I will. Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to get 2 packs, Ronnie, because you've got big ears, mate.
Come on, YG. Oh God.
Oh, hear the music, isn't it?
But you know what? There's something that sometimes we forget, that we don't make money with our skills. We make money with our ears. Basically, that's a tool. Okay, yeah. And you got to protect it. You got to keep. Yeah. I mean, keep it safe. So basically, I know guys that just have one arm and can mix. All right, but if you can hear, that's it. You're through. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a prime example: Frankie Knuckles.
You went
Lost
deaf,
his hearing, didn't he?
Went deaf, didn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah. He came back through the just through feeling. He got back DJing just through feeling.
Go on. And is this another advert to all gone Pete Tong? Is it?
You know what? Funny you say that. I was in the bath the other day, right? I was in the bath, and I was I don't know about any of you guys, but I always watch films in the bath, and I was watching It's All Gone Pete Tong. So yeah, there's guys went for It's All Gone Pete Tong. All right. So if anyone makes it, if you know all the people that was in the film and that, we want some royalties, all right? Know what I mean? Free advertisement, guys. We want royalties.
That's part of 24/7.club.
What you rather use turntables or the controller? Which one you like the most?
Turntable.
Turntables?
No.
Yeah.
CD decks.
CD decks? All right.
Media
Okay.
players, separates. We class them between ourselves. We don't know what the rest of the world class was. Obviously, you've got vinyl decks, your digital media players. They are now, aren't they? They're not CDJs. They're media players. We refer to them as separates, as in digital media players. And obviously, then you got your forms of controller. Obviously, you either got through your PC, laptop, or standalone, because there are standalone versions as well. But I prefer my separates, to be fair, because that's what I've been used to. Clubs and bars, they've always been separates. They're not far off a controller when you've got a decent mixer between you as well. So I think the art of having two separate, even though they can be linked together, just visually two separate decks, is a better impression than one. I mean, okay, controllers nowadays they look very professional. We're looking at our new DJ tonight, DJS, and he's got an RXZ, isn't it? Yeah, and it looks very professional piece of kit. Basically, it's just an Nexus system squashed together.
Yeah.
Financially, I probably can't afford a Nexus kit, so it'd be a controller that you would get, or obviously a lower level Pioneer perhaps setup, which I've got at the moment. I prefer separates. These two I can answer without guessing. Vinyl. End of conversation.
I played for so long. I used the controller for almost 5 years, you know. And when I came here, I bought.
Siri's going off. Shut up, Siri.
I was when I came here, I bought the turntables, and now it's hard for me to go back into the controller. I'm telling you, it's getting hard. I'm getting so used to turntables again, you know, and it's getting a hassle for me to play with the controller right now. I'm telling you, because like it's.
Is that because it doesn't engage you as much?
It's. I don't know. I just the feeling about like when you using the pitch, you know, all the stuff, you know, the vinyl, you know, all that excitement, you know. I think it's more adrenaline for me. It's that, you know.
Thank you very much for watching and listening to our Dance Party 247 podcast. I'm the DJ Wongy, the DJ Envy, we've got the DJ T, and our special guest DJ Carlos. If you'd like to follow, and subscribe, hit the notification bell for when we have our next podcast go out, and we shall see you next time. Thank you very much.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
You did it.
That was brilliant.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have a beer. All right, I'm gonna have a beer.
You know what? I'll be totally honest. I was practicing it earlier.
Yeah, because you know that one of us is going to have a go and say, "Go on, Walter."
I knew him was going to say, "Go on, then, over to you."
Yeah.